asked what the problem was, I was trying to set it to that.
What is going on, everybody? Not sure we're on cam quite yet, but we are at epic.LAN 28. We are awaiting the first match of the day, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm Tom.
No,
Not
you're
Dean.
Dean.
Okay.
You're Dean. I'm Mitch.
Dean Brown, joined by Mitch. How you doing, Mitch?
I'm doing all right, you know. Like, I had my potato this morning. I'm all ready to go. You know, last night we was out late. We was dancing a little bit, singing some Queen, I believe.
Yeah?
Yeah?
I was blacked out. I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No, not a chance.
No, not a chance?
There he is.
Oh, there we go. Back to Kaiserson now.
So we're going to jump into it in just a bit. The teams are in the lobby, and we're going to look to do some vetoes. But coming up, we have, I believe it's Envictus versus Leisure?
Yeah. No.
Or no.
No. Envictus versus
Sector 1.
Sector 1.
Sorry, I was looking back at the scores, and
Yeah.
Envictus actually, so we're kind of going through it. Sector 1 had a slow start to their first day. Obviously, I think
They
said they traveled 30 hours and then started playing, and
Yeah.
then they just turned it up. They won over London and almost went to overtime, but squeaked it out 13-11. So they're looking good. On the other end, Envictus is struggling a little bit here. They're 2-3, looking to hopefully get a win and come out even from the group.
Yeah, like Envictus also started quite slow. We saw them on Avenue yesterday, first game. Obviously, the amount of delays we had probably has an effect on them. But they did play quite well at the start, and they've been pretty consistent. They've been playing well, but just not enough to get an edge over. Like, they was close to Avenue. But then they actually did beat Leisure 13-8. And then, of course, they beat the Devs, like every other team here, except for Endpoint, of course.
Yeah, we it wasn't on stream, but the Endpoint boys went down. I think it was 13-10 that the Devs took them out on Manor, not Invasion or anything, but Manor House, and it was apparently a stomp. We weren't able to see the match, unfortunately.
Well,
it wasn't
we
streamed,
did ask some of the Endpoint guys, and they
Mhm.
were saying that there were some hooligans, you know, like they only could get grease guns and stuff like that. It was really, really weird.
Yeah, they invulnerability or
Yeah.
something like that. Not sure how they got 10 rounds if they couldn't kill the other team, but you know those devs always got something up their sleeve.
Exactly. But
realistically, yeah, looking at these scores, it's kind of what you would expect from Endpoint, but the rest, everyone is pretty close. The top contenders, I'd say, are Endpoint, London, and Sector 1, but Endpoint finished the day 5-1. They're going to be the top seed, so they're not going to play for a little while. And then London Esports does still have a game, so they're 3-2 now, also looking to go 4-2. But I'm just most impressed by Sector 1. As you were saying, it's kind of a mix coming together last minute, and they've beat some of the. They lost to Leisure, and I think that was just kind of waking up a little bit. But then they lost to Endpoint. Otherwise, I favor them in this game pretty heavily.
yeah, and like we say, talking about Sector 1, Sector 1 just has such a stacked lineup on itself. You have Kozjay, such a veteran. He knows what he's doing in this game, and he's been on the old Endpoint lineups. So he's a champion in himself. And then you got Dins and Blues. Both of these players played for Demise and Panda. They was at the finals in the last major. They're really good players on their own right. And then you just got Rebirth. And who was the last player?
It's like
so bad. Not remember the last player.
Regardless, it's like a complete all-star stacked up lineup, and it's just something that it's one of those teams that you would expect to do well, but you're not sure if they are. And it was a little worrying. They got the org support, obviously. Sector 1 been around a while, and they fly out here, and then they show up and they go 5-13 against Leisure. So it's a little scary, but they started to wake up, and I'm really excited to watch this game and just see how they do throughout the day.
Yeah, like I was speaking to Dins before we got started, and he's ready for today. He's pumped. He's ready to play some Battalion. It's like once we got the game started yesterday, he was just having fun, despite the fact that he was like had no sleep for like 2 days.
And then on the other end, Envictus, it said that they had a slow start, but I'm looking at the teams they lost to, and it's Avenue, Endpoint, and London. They're hard games to win in the first place. So this 2 and 3 may not show how well they've actually been playing. Obviously, they beat the Devs. Kind of a giveaway for everyone except Endpoint, who struggled.
The only two teams who struggled against it there, so Endpoint, obviously, who lost, and then, of course, Avenue, who went a very, very close game on Invasion.
I think 13-8?
13-8, yeah. They was actually losing at one point.
That was fun to see. Devs had to feel good about that one, and then probably lost maybe 10 rounds in a row. So it's a little rough, but that's just how it goes. Regardless, we are going to get into vetoes. I'm hoping we can see maybe Liberation, because I wasn't able to stream any of those yesterday, but I know a bunch of teams have been playing it.
Yeah, but like I would also like to see some Vanguard, you know, something a little bit different. Or even, we haven't even casted the Manor House yet. No, we have casted one Manor House.
Yeah, we did
only
one.
Liberation. Because we casted Derailed, Coastal, and Mana.
Right.
So quite a variety for us.
Right.
Obviously, Dean and Mitch, they casted, I know, Liberation, I believe, Invasion, and I can't remember what the last map was.
Yeah, it was a long day, and
It
today
was a
looks
long
like it's
day.
going to be equally as long. As we were saying, yesterday was all group stages, and every team played each other once. So this morning, we just only have 2 matches to clean up, and I think they're going to go at the same time. So we're just going to catch the back end of this, and then we'll get into the playoff play, and I'm looking forward to that, man. A best-of-3 series is where you can really see teams start to shine or start to struggle.
Yeah, exactly, and it should be such a great series. Like that's where you're going to see probably play. Best ones is more 50-50, especially when you've got stacked teams like this, and you can see on like the win ratio on every team, apart from Endpoint and Devs, of course, where it's been very close, and that's where we're going to see which teams are going to come out on top in best-of-3s.
Yeah, not that it's not fun to do, but I would not be surprised if we're going to see some like 2-hour-long best-of-3s, some overtime matches, some 13-11s every time like that. I'm just looking forward to it, man. So I think the vetoes may be underway. I think there might have been some audio issues with some of the teams, but they are working on it. I'm looking at the other map up that's going on. So we are going to catch Sector 1 versus Invictus, but on the other end, it's Leisure versus London Esports.
Yeah.
That should be a good one.
Yeah, that should be a good one as well. I was speaking to some of the Leisure guys, and they're all ready and pumped. I didn't really get to speak to them, the guys, unfortunately. I just said hi to them when they came in. They came in a little bit late. But the Leisure guys look ready to play some games, and I wish them good luck. I wish all the teams good luck for today. But, of course, we have to look at Envictus and Sector 1, which I am mostly enjoying because I want to see how Sector 1 plays.
Yeah, and these are pretty important matches for the seeding. Everyone's kind of sitting at 3-2. London is Sector 1. I think Invictus and Leisure, I think they're all 3 and 2. So these are kind of
Envictus and Leisure on 2 and 3.
2 and 3, sorry, other way around. So it's London and Sector 1 then are looking to make it 4 and 2 to close out and hopefully get that 2nd, 3rd seed for themselves. Hopefully for them. We'll see. Regardless, we are I don't know. Maybe we'll just take a quick break until we get back into this map. Looks like they still may be knifing for vetoes or trying to figure some information and see what's going on. So we'll be back in a minute. And we are back. Looks like we're jumping straight into the knife round. Vetoes happen, and surprise, surprise, we're on Coastal again.
Wow. You could have thought this. Coastal is such a defined map in Battalion. Probably the one which everyone would think about when thinking of Battalion. That or Liberation.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of there's those two maps. It's you play Pug. It's either Liberation or Coastal.
Yeah.
No one wants to play something new, or you already know the angles. It's been the same map. Not much has changed. So looks like Sector 1 is going to win the knife round. And I was gonna ask if you know much about this team, but it's kind of hard to put together. And even speaking with them yesterday, obviously they are a mix, and that comes into play just with kind of everything. He was saying on this map specifically, they were like, okay, let's go B, and it was like, well, who plays where? Like, who plays tank? Who wants to watch the flank? Who wants to do this and that? So it's got to also on the other end be hard to play against. You don't know where these guys are playing. They might be switching things up. If you know someone's usually a B player and they're not there, you're not sure where your frags are happening. So I'm really interested to see how this starts and just get straight into it.
Exactly, and it does seem like Sector 1 are starting on Axis, which is probably the best thing for them, try and get those rounds in as fast as they can, and Envictus on the attack, and they're doing quite a spread out. It looks like they're trying to do a fake A to go B, but they're just losing their heads. Yeah,
just winning these gunfights is Sector 1. Sus will find his frag onto, I believe that is Din's up top. Blues is making a play kind of all the way around flanking the coast. Niels jumps in and actually trades with his friend Joe Zeus onto Kosjay, so they may be able to push B, but as I was saying, Blues is going to flank around the back. Rebirth picks up the kill onto Joe Zeus, who tries to take it out, so a 3-2 advantage here for Sector 1, and still have a lot of time left. They can decide if they want to rotate off. Bomb does look like it's still in that B area, so they may try to work it, but Sus on the other side of the map going to look for a kill and can't quite pick it up. Blues wins that gunfight, making it a 1 versus 3, so pretty hard here for Niels. He's got to get out of this building and take it B. They've kind of closed in on the map, so he doesn't have too many places to go. He can maybe walk out on site, but he'll be closed in on as soon as that bomb starts to go down. Pretty important here for the Axis to stop the plant.
Yeah, but the unfortunate thing for him, his opponents are spread out, so he could try and go for these 1 versus 1 duels, trying to win those fights, but now they know exactly where he is. They have pushed on site, and 2 players are pushing in. Niels trying to go for the first battle, runs out of bullets, and Rebirth will get it. And that's the first round for Sector 1, and an impressive round for them as they just win all their duels, which is probably the story there.
Yeah.
Not really else to break down.
No, there wasn't really any plays that could have happened or any type of lurk or flank or anything, just because the fights happened. Sector 1 won them, and they're now up 1-0, and I see an STG coming out from Din's second round, so I'm excited to see where he'll play with that, if he'll just elect to hold down A, and on the other side, we do see 3 smokes and a full carbine buy, so obviously kind of a half buy. They didn't get bombed down, but they're still trying to win this one, not going to throw the round out completely. And it's just a default here. Looks like they're getting up coast pretty quickly, and Blues will get into this top red, but gets picked off. Doesn't decide if he wants to go in or not, and it doesn't work out. Meanwhile, Joe Zeus gets the kill onto Kosjay as well, so that's one of their MP40s down. A good start to this round for the Allies.
Yeah, it's a good start as Rebirth trying to make that battle more equal, but he has to fall back towards yellow, and there's 3 players pushing onto the B side while Dins
needs to find that kill and cannot.
Yeah.
Rebirth here on a huge flank, has to get this done. He sees them all on the street, gets the first start shooting and runs out of bullets. At least picks one off as he gets up in the top red. The call has come out, so Robert going to try to rotate around through mid, but this should be a free bomb plant, a 2v3 retake, and they don't really have many guns here. We saw Rebirth there still on the default as he didn't upgrade. Robert not going to jump back around and does win the gunfight, making it a 2v2. Still 40 seconds left, so can regen. Rebirth needs to find his frag on the other side of the map as well, so they're going to start to close in, check these angles slowly, and hopefully get on site and defuse this. Otherwise, Allies are in a good spot.
Yeah, exactly what looking from it. It is a 2 versus 2. They just need to coordinate their attack, as Robert is going to be the entry man. He does want to smoke, he does throw it, and he gets that information. Rebirth checking dark, and he goes for the battle, and he loses it out from Niels, but a good trade, but it's just not enough as Envictus answers straight back, 1-1.
Those bullets there just not connecting in the corner. It looks like it's a kill that he should have gotten, and maybe they could have turned and got the guy stairs, but just didn't work out. So a very good round for the Allies. As I said, not a heavy investment, and you look at their economy, they can buy 3 scopes, or they could have if they wanted to. They were pretty rich since they didn't put too many investments into that last round. And on the other end, they still can buy. We only saw 2 upgrades come across, and Kosjay, I think, and Din's both buying an STG and MP40, but Robert with the car, he had 3 kills, so not a broken buy here at all for Sector 1, but would like to have some better guns as Samuel G already picking up that scope here. We saw him use this, I think, the first one we cast, and he was definitely good with it, but Robert showing up in this match gets the first headshot with the unscoped car there.
Let's see, Envictus are just spread out, just looking for picks at the moment, not really going towards a side of the map, only Sus in an advantageous position, but not for long as Blues will dispatch him. And the rest of the Envictus guys are looking to push into yellow where Kozjay lies in wait with that MP40.
Yeah, must have heard him as he strafed and jumped in there, and not sure he's expecting there to be two. Should win this gunfight as he peeks around, at least get some damage and make it baited out. No, he doesn't. Just wins the fight against Niels and is still looking. Knows the bomb's down, so he just has to win this fight against Jesus, but did not check upstairs. The call has come out, so they know bomb's there. They know one still is there, and it's a 2v4 for the allies here. They need to win their gunfights, and that's exactly what Jesus is doing. Rebirth sitting on site here with the Gewehr, needs to win his fight, and he does. Now Samuel G left alone, picks up the Thompson, tries to win it, and no, Rebirth picks up a 2-man on that hold, and another good round for the Axis. A pretty big investment, but bomb does not go down, so allies need to figure out what they want to do, maybe spread some of that money that Joe got. But yeah, they're just kind of trading back and forth here. It looks like it's just gunfights after gunfights. It hasn't been too much of a strat or a push site yet. Yeah,
like we haven't really seen any executions, just mostly defaults, testing the waters, trying to just get an advantage and push. But most of the time it has been Sector 1 gaining an advantage. Let's see if they can keep that going, because of course, starting on Axis, you want to try and get as many rounds as you can to help you on the allies.
And that's definitely a way to do it. Blues opens it up with a nade kill in the middle. Kozjay walking up with the MP40, gets the first kill, knows there's another, but his teammates are there to help. Niels trying to spray through the smoke and cannot connect. Has to be careful here at Broken Wall as he was spotted out. Robber gets the second of the round for himself, and just like that, only 20 seconds into the round, Jesus is left in a 1v4. He's got a bar, so definitely has the weapon to do it with, but they know exactly where he is. He's trapped in this T-Con connector. We see Blues walking up the back and makes it 2 for himself as well. So they tried to do some type of mid-split there, and the smokes just didn't come out, or maybe they didn't get up there fast enough. The nade from Blues early in the round definitely didn't help. Yeah, and it was just a really good counter to Envictus, which Sector 1 did. They saw them smoke come in, so they put smokes themselves. So Sector 1 are also blind, and of course, Envictus are also blind. So Sector 1 went into the positions that they needed, took down Envictus as they tried to get some map control, which they just couldn't do with the utility that they had left. So really, really good round from Sector 1. Yeah, they kind of get to call the shots there if they throw their own smokes. They know what angles they can peek and where they can walk around. Looks like this is going to be maybe a B hit, as we do see players kind of working there. But Kozjay already is in the back of red, gets the first kill, starts spraying, gets the second, a +10 onto Niels, and shuts down B. Bomb is down. Meanwhile, Fancy picks up a kill onto Robber, but big advantage here for the Axis already, and Rebirth gets his frag as well. They're just kind of dropping left and right here. Yeah, they just seem to be losing all their jewels. Fancy at least getting a headshot onto Dins, making it a little bit more easier for themselves, but Sus is in such a dangerous position. Yeah, thought he might see Kozjay there in top yellow, but he did not peek out, and he's going to start to make his way up. Think he's going to show here if Rebirth's not careful. He may get peeked, and actually does get spotted out. He's just going to peek that and run back. Fancy with 2 on the round, and he's looking scary with that default. I think they were both 1-taps, so they do need to bide their time and make Envictus make a move here, but they still have bomb down. Rebirth going to win his fight. Now Fancy left alone. I don't think he's been spotted out, so maybe able to get the jump onto Kozjay here if he goes up top, just kind of peeking and checking all of his angles, playing it extra safe, but Rebirth is there, and him and Kozjay just shut down B. Rebirth with 3 frags, and he's just racking them up, man. Yeah, Rebirth's really, really strong at the moment, and this is what I said yesterday with Rebirth. He's the type of guy, like, when you have him in the group stages and early on in the tournament, he's going to destroy his opponents. It's the later stages that you have to watch him a little bit, because that's when he normally cracks under pressure. Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't happen in this tournament, because he is such a great player. Yeah, he's sitting at 8-1 here, only in the 6th round, so going to jump into it, and we see another scope. It's going to be for Samuel G, and hoping that he can get a pick early here, but it is smoked off. Going to try to jump around tank, and no one's giving him any angles to look early. Fancy does get the important nade kill, and Blues actually switches off. His weapon gets taken very low. Needs to stay alive here in this bottom red position. Going to peek. No Samuel's there. Not sure you want to peek that with a bar. He does. Almost gets the frag, but falls off as they're climbing up the ladder, trying to get on the A site. Kozjay went down, so it's only a 3v5. This Axis team is a little scared. Blues just trying to get some kills and stay alive, struggling a little bit. Robber looking for a jump shot on site and can't quite hit that either, so they are staying alive for the meantime, but in a rough spot, the Axis are. Yeah, and the fact that Blues stay alive is actually going to help his team so much, because later in the round he might have that impact, which cause some problems. He does get that information that Sus is further up into the site, and actually goes to peek it. Somehow still alive. How is Blues staying alive right now, Tom? I do not know. Yeah, and Sus and Fancy both winning their fights now. Rebirth left alone. The bomb did go down, and he's just looking for something. May actually try to get off site here as he has the Grand and the Thompson just to save them and maybe pick up some exit kills, I guess. He's just in such a weird spot. Gets taken low. Probably going to re-peek with this Garand, but doesn't know that there's another player pushing close. Going to get up on the barrels. Wins his first fight, but is taken out from the behind. So Envictus there just winning their fights. Thought Blues could maybe do something staying alive there in yellow so long, but they just decide to rotate, go get the bomb down, and not take those fights that are unfavorable to him.
Luckily, Sector 1 can still make a pretty good buy with some coins left over. And looking at the kills, Rebuff at the top of 9 with Robert close behind him with that car doing so much damage. And it's Jozu's top of the scoreboard for Envictus. And this has been the story for most of the tournament for him. He's been very, very good. He was more of the outliner, seeing if he can actually perform. Because online, he does pretty well. But LAN was the question, and he's definitely proving himself right now. Yeah,
he's been showing up, and it's been a treat to watch him. Blues, once again, actually playing on the other side of the smoke here, going to be able to wrap around and get into red if he wants to. I think those gunshots have come out. Fancy, meanwhile, actually picks him up, so he was spotted. Din's trying to make his way back A before they can really push up, and they're kind of stuck here. Robert's pushed all the way in. T-Con through a smoke and is going to try to exit out Garden, maybe able to find a frag if he pushes through, but his teammates are just dropping all around him. He's got to make a big play here. Maybe gets the bomb from planning. Tries to spray through and shoots at the box. Unfortunately, not finding the head, and did at least delay the plant, but I think is going to be, poked in the side there by Joe Zeus as he walks into him. And Envictus with another good round. Sector 1 need to kind of clean it up and get it together here. That was a force buy. Now they are poor coming into the 8th round.
Yeah. Din still managed to get that STG, but the problem with going for these weapons is you're going for lack of utility. Reba's trying to counter that by buying only Gaver, but you have to have a good mix. Looking at Envictus, they have a pretty good mix. 4 nades, 3 smokes. You've got exactly how much they need minimum, and they've still got the weapons. Emma and Garand, you've got a few SMGs as well, and an STG and a scope on CMG, but he falls straight away.
Yeah, he gets the scope out early in the round. Maybe someone on his team can pick it up, and that's going to be Fancy, but starting it off right, I was going to say maybe the Axis are going to tighten this up and not peek anything, but they are, and starting it off well. Sus getting taken low. Robber on the other side of the map gets a kill onto Niels, and he's just been shutting down this T-Con position. It's very high risk, but it's very high reward as well. So a 3v5 here already for Envictus. Robber's still just holding down this kind of mid-crux position so they can't come through, maybe forcing them to go coast or towards B. And here's a shot come out. Gonna walk through here, should be able to find at least one. Gonna strafe through, finds him, and is traded off at least by Fancy, who picked up that scope from Samuel G. Sus still trying to make his way up coast and may try to climb the ladder, but we do see Dins just playing in that closet with the STG. So deep and so far back. Not something that you're really going to check, and Dins finds his frag. So left alone in a 1v4 is Fancy. Can't find his first shot and is getting tagged up. Dins with a huge round, making it 3 for himself.
Yeah, Din's just a huge play. Obviously taking the scope out straight off and then getting that second frag. Just the reactions that he had, just seeing that elbow and shoot straight away. Not many people would have spotted that out, but Dins was definitely one of them. And now you can see Sector 1 having a very healthy buy, getting the utility that I said they lacked in the previous round, but they just out-aimed their opponents so well. So Dins is just a monster. And
I've been noticing Samuel G hasn't been buying too much utility, and because of that, he's able to buy these guns round after round with the scope, Garand, and good choice because he's got the aim and needs those weapons. And after I say that, it looks like it's going to be a full B hit. Rebirth and Kosjay going to have to do a lot of work to shut this down, and they're a little late to get to site. They're both going to have to play back statue here, and hopefully they can work together. Kosjay playing on the backside, gets one, tries to peek around the other, and they are flanking, so he gets taken out from the back. It is a 3v3, so they at least got a few kills. It's not too unreasonable of a retake as bomb comes down. There's no retake nades. Din's just spraying on the other side of this smoke, and bomb is now planted. So 49 seconds here for the Axis to retake this site and get the bomb defused. Din's getting very low through the smoke, and they're going to push him as 3. They do get him as he can't find a single one of those kills, and that's going to give the signal for Robert to try to entry onto site and maybe take some type of position. I kind of like this play of them going all the way around, but he might just be able to stick this bomb, which it looks like he's going to opt to. Blue's going to have some work, gets the first kill on the stairs, and he's going to get this defuse if they're not careful. Takes him very low. Actually, does get the kill through the smoke.
No, he wasn't covered in the smoke well enough.
Okay.
Like, if they went from stairs, he would have been completely fine. Because they both went to truck, it was a little bit more advantageous. And now Envictus will pick up the round, despite Blues trying his best. Did become a very, very close round after a pretty good start from Envictus, getting onto the site, taking out the 2 players, and then pushing Dins.
Right.
And I thought at that moment they might have blown it because of that smoke, which was still behind him. Robert going on the site, it was just that smoke wasn't just right on the bomb, and then they couldn't get the defuse in.
Yeah, you got to think if that was a better smoke, he would have been able to stick that and maybe win the round with some of the allies still alive, but it doesn't work out. So a good round for Envictus, not letting them run away or getting too much of an economy, as we see 2 MP40s and 3 Gewehr's. Blue's going to try his play and get in red quick again. Does see one and get some shots out. Looks like he's not being reacted on quite yet, but they do know he is up there. Going to really try to hold this down and needs to get at least one of these kills.
He's definitely trying, but he's still alive somehow, despite missing some of his shots. And the fact that he's just being here is just good enough.
Finds one on the sus and knows there's one there. He's going to pre-fire and picks up the kill onto Fancy as well, who just runs into that pre-fire. And that's rough, as the rest of his team is going to try to execute over onto B, but they can start rotating if they haven't heard anything. The nades are coming out and the footsteps have been made. They smoke off that T-con, so Robber's not going to be able to flank through the middle of the map as we see him go back white box. As I say that, he's actually maybe going to get picked off. Does not, as Samuel G falls, and they're just going to run straight onto site. Going to get up on the truck, but is taken down by Kosje. They're trying to entry, but they're going one by one. Rebirth knows he's there, gets some pot shots onto him, and kind of lost here are Envictus. They're going to try to run through the street. Jesus picks his first kill, going to just kind of bait and jump around, but he's shooting at 2 different players there. They're just trading off damage as they do get control of stairs. They're trying to do a boost there, but it wasn't quite working out. So Sector 1 in a good spot. Bomb is going to be a fake plant, not going to go down as Blues finds Jesus, and he's just going to stick this plant to get the money for his team. So not sure Neil's going to be able to pull off this 1v4 as there's 4 players peeking him all from separate angles. A little goofy there as he peeks out, but an interesting round. Blues shutting down that A push and actually coming over to get that final kill.
Yeah, and it's just great. And then Envictus, they seem to be a little bit more predictable now. I've seen them do this several times where they have 2 people go into red, try and fake it, and then have the rest of the 3 players. And it's just not working for them as 2 A players not getting anything done. You want those 2 A players to cause as much distraction, get a frag or 2, so it pulls some B players away. But because they're dying without any impact, it's just not working out for them. It's
kind of similar. It's that high risk, as I was saying, what Endpoint do, right? They'll send groups of players, 2 to one side of the map and 3 to the other, and that works out only if those 2 on the other side of the map get the kills. Otherwise, we saw Robber was able to rotate pretty quick, and Blues was able to make his way over before that bomb was planted just due to all the fakes. So just really good play. Sadly, Envictus can't pull that away. Sector 1 tuning it up, but it's kind of been round for round, and Envictus have to be happy with this side so far. If they can get maybe 1 or 2 more rounds on the Allies side, they'll be happy. And it's a full buy since they did plant Sus and Samuel G both buying up scope, so a big investment onto this round.
Massive investment, and these scopes have to do the work. Samuel G hasn't had too much impact with the scope itself, but Sus definitely getting that opening kill onto Dins. Getting that danger man out of there straight off the bat is going to help him and cause some holes into this Sector 1 defense.
Kosje just playing kind of his signature B house, and they've already rotated one off, so he is playing that alone, and that may be the better call. It looks like Niels is going to try to work over that way with the bomb. If Kosje is able to find the frag on him, then he should have the call that bombs down and maybe get his team to rotate a bit, but we see such passive play coming out for the Allies. There are 2 scopes, so they're playing their gunfights. Niels and Kosje just on the other side of the wall from each other. Got to be interesting to see when this gunfight happens, and we see the mini-map. The Allies are going to start to swing over towards B. Kosje sees the gun barrel, or at least should. Maybe only that's us. Does see it, gets the first, cannot find the second kill, and as he was the only one there, they are going to have to start rotating through stairs, but Samuel G on the other side of the map gets Blues, who was trying to flank, and with that, they actually call a rotate all the way back through. Robert does see that smoke come off and isn't able to make his barrels jump, and they think this is a B execute. We see him rotating all the way through. Meanwhile, the bomb is going up coast, so they don't hear anything. Call has to come out shortly, but Sus picking up this scope with 2 huge kills, and this should be the round for Envictus. Kosje left alone with an MP40 and a Garand, and he's just going to save this, I bet.
Yeah, it's just an fantastic round from Envictus. They used the scopes perfectly. They played around him so well, getting those opening kills with Sus onto the A site. And then you saw straight away, Sector 1, they rotated the player over towards mid. And then, of course, Kosje alone in yellow. Great double peek from Envictus to get that frag. And then the rotations coming towards B. And they faked B so well. And they was get that bomb down in A. And it's all up to Rebirth to just save these weapons for the final round of the half.
It's good that they went into that B house with 2. Kosje not able to get a +10 as he did the round before. And once they get that frag on Blues, who's pushing all the way up coast, they just make that call, immediately start running, and the smoke came out. So, as you said, Rob rotated through mid over towards A and over towards B, and they just took A. So, a good round for Envictus, sitting at 6-5, and if they get this next round, they'll be tied at half, and I think that's a pretty favorable position for them to be in.
Rebirth getting the waters tested at the moment in these final seconds. Just trying to avoid as much as possible, and he will save his weapons at least. And even gets a kill onto Samuel G. One of the scopes gone.
Yeah, it's an important frag, actually.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about that. Sus still on his scope, and as you said, he was able to get that kill onto Dins early in the round, who has been kind of peeking. He hardly even peeked that. He looked like he was just shoulder peeking it for information. You don't expect a scope to be there since there hasn't been, but even though that scope went down, Samuel G just rebuying it straight up. Last round of the half, so all the money going to be spent across both teams, and Sector 1 really need to tie this down and get this last round if they want to have, you know, a good chance on allies, but looks like it's going to be another default. Sus getting very aggressive up coast with his scope, actually, and I love this play from him coming out. Maybe able to get a pick through the mid-connector area or some type of rotate play if it does happen. But nothing like that going to happen quite yet. Kosj, I believe, is playing in a different angle. He's been in that house over on B, and he's going to move off. Blues playing shotgun, I believe, on A site on those 2-3 stairs, so they're playing it very passively. They know they need to win this round, and they know they don't have the best guns. Sus has shown his position and gets taken out by Robber. A very interesting gunfight to take for Robber, but he wins it, and a win that he definitely needs to get there. He may be taken out as he is spotted and maybe getting baited. Knows that there's going to be one there, and Samuel G with that scope. Lucky it's a bolt there as he got taken very low on only 2 shots, but Dins has a scope of his own over on coast as well.
Dins picked up Sus's scope, it seems like, and it was very, very unlucky for Rob. He did manage to tag 2 players down to pretty much 1 HP with the STG and couldn't get anything done. But now Envictus are pushing onto the B site. Kosj in dark, just hiding, and it's Rebirth who takes the first peek. Falls off the bat, and it's up to Kosj. Gets the first kill. Can he get any more? Still baiting as much as he can. Gets a second. Damage. Can he get a third? No, he cannot. Nils will take him down, and it's a 2 versus 2. And Dins, he's pushing through the smoke.
Huge play from Dins there as he gets the bomb planter. It did not go down, and Blues with the shotgun all the way through. Kosj did his job staying alive on site for long enough and was just being a nuisance. He finally did go down, and bomb wasn't able to be planted as Dins with the confident move to walk through smoke, and Sector 1 with the needed round. And this is a pretty even game. I'd say it's an Axis-sided map, obviously. Sector 1 being a mix, I'm not sure what kind of executes they're going to have, but very scary on all their defaults. And if they're just going to take gunfights, as it looks like they are, no smokes or utility coming out, and scoreboard kind of shows what you'd expect. Joe Zeus has been showing up the entire tournament.
Exactly, but looking at Sector 1, they're quite close. Only Dins 6 to 7. These was towards the A side, and most of the action was towards B because Blues would get kills towards A, and Blues is actually taking the first fight. Nice headshot onto Sus towards Coast, and I think that's really the story to come for this second half, just headshots.
Blues making his way all the way through red and actually passed through that Coast player. It's going to be Niels who flanks all the way up, and I think he has been spotted, or they're at least privy to it. He's trying to take that, and he's not going to be expecting Blues to be right behind him, who gets some damage, and kind of a scary fight as Niels is able to turn on him. Unfavorable positioning there for Blues, and Niels may be able to pick up a second kill here. Gets taken very low and not going to straight back around as Rebirth does not want to lose that positioning. And a 4v4 as it looks like they're trying to take B for Sector 1. Bomb is still down in spawn, and really just need to see who's going to win their fights. Dins takes the first one on the Joseph. Fancy still playing over on B. Robber wins his as Niels does finally trade him off, and Fancy should be able to get a kill for free here, and he does. Gets taken about half health, and a 2v2 situation. Kosj all the way on B site. Hard to figure out where these players even are. Niels just left alone in garden trying to fend off 2 players. Is spotted out as he shoots his gun. Tries to turn on Kosj as he did on Blues earlier in the round, and just trying to stay alive here as the bomb has been grabbed, and looks like it probably can make it B for free. Neil's getting taken very low from a pistol on B site, and he's going to rotate through. Only 15 seconds left, so Rebirth does need to just sprint straight to site to get this down, and it should be a plant for free. Up to Niels to do something elaborate here to try to make it work, as plant is going to go down. So now he's got to get both kills and defuse the bomb.
Exactly, and Nils pushing on the site does not look at the right angle, and Rebirth gets a headshot, and it is a team ace in the first round of the second half for Sector 1. Some of those shots in that round.
I was thinking about each individual gunfight. Blues with the early one-tap, and then Niels turning on him there in Coast, and thought Niels might be able to pull something out there as he was getting damage to B site, but not quite enough, and we see the bomb go down, so Robert getting a scope second round.
That is very risky, but it could work out for them so much as their opponents would not expect the scope to happen this quickly.
And he's just running straight to B site with it. love to see this type of play. He should see one coming downstairs and might be able to get a pick for free here. He does see them peek, and is that going to come out again? No, the smoke does come out, so is going to be safe here to get on site is Joseph.
Oh, he made a footstep there. Coach J knows exactly where he is, especially after falling.
Rebirth and Robber on the other side of the map able to get their kills, and Kosjay just comes under the scope of him, and these players are just dropping left and right. Samuel G on coast with just a default weapon, as it was kind of a save here coming out, and Rebirth's been tapping heads all game already on this side with the carbine. Makes it 2 for himself, so it was a save for Envictus. They weren't able to put too much money, and we'll see a better investment, but Allies kind of making a bit of a gap here, 9-5 now.
Yeah, but we should be seeing Envictus buy in. The lack of utility does scare me. They have managed to get free smokes, but no nades.
Right.
And nades are really important on their defense. That's where you can slow down your opponents. Where smokes, that may delay them, but there's always a risk of pushing through it. But if you throw a nade, they won't risk jumping past that because they knew they'll get tagged, gives information, or they could even die. It does seem like we're having a split, maybe a fake towards A from Sector 1 as 3 players push down a coast, it seems like.
It's funny to see Kosjay on the other side of this play, as he was the one laying down all last half, but Blues is all the way in back A already, while Bomb is through B. They're going to have to clear this yellow. It looks like Envictus are just kind of playing off each other, 2 in each building, knowing that they need to win their fights or at least trade off and get a man advantage. Din's going to go up top, and Kosjay's just going to hold below him, and on the other side, I think it's Niels and one of his buddies with him towards that A building. It's just kind of a waiting game to see who's going to inch forward first, and I don't think Envictus are going to be the ones to do it. They don't have to.
They definitely don't, and the first peek does come in. Fancy takes some shots, but it's Blues who gets the first frag of the round. Fancy's still trying his best in bottom yellow, but he cannot beat Kosjay. Kosjay is just so good with the SMGs. But looking on the other side of the map, Rebirth, he's in a little bit of a precarious situation as he will fall. But only one person on B. This should be a bomb plant for Sector 1.
Yeah, an interesting split there, and they're going to have a 2v2 for the retake, and kind of favoring them as Robert can pull out that scope and get a free kill from long range before they're able to get close, but looks like that's not going to quite happen. They do still have utility left over, so able to smoke front site, and they're just playing off each other. Kosjay in that kind of signature back position on B site, as you said earlier, so good with that SMG, so got to think he's going to get at least one of these kills if they push through house. And someone playing on the other edge of smoke here, just kind of waiting to see. A smoke does come out, and the smoke on front site will fade. Sus just kind of watching his flank, looking behind him. I think Kosjay definitely heard him coming out, and they need to check this angle together so he's not able to get as much damage done as he did last time. And Kosjay with a +10. 3 kills for the round on him, and just wins every fight with those SMGs.
Yeah, Robert didn't even have to peek. He just stood in smoke, and Kosjay just got both kills quite easily, it seemed like, from their point of view.
Yeah, I don't think he took any damage.
No.
And that's a hard retake. I think they took a little bit too much time. Sus there playing on the truck, waiting for someone to come through flank, but you only have a certain amount of time, and you got to expect someone to be in that back corner because you can hardly wallbang that market stall, so why not play there? And once again, not the most utility. Envictus do have 4 smokes, but just STGs, and we don't see any cars or scopes or anything like that coming out, so need to get something done here with the automatic weapons, but not sure they're going to be able to. As Niels walks on the other side of the smoke, it looks like Blues and Rebirth trying to work up this A site, and Rebirth does pick him off, so left alone now is Sus with that STG, and he's got to be careful. Blues has just been kind of walking up the side of the map and should be able to get the frag behind him, and he does. He just walks up, and this bomb should either run A or maybe they can collapse over onto B because A is completely wide open. They have all the mid-map control. No, Blues is going to strafe back out and take that gun. Doesn't need to, as Rebirth is actually in top red and gets it for him. So with that call, Bomb will rotate, but Fancy's there and privy to it. Kosjay needs to win this gunfight and maybe sees his arm or his head, at least gets the call for his teammate. No, Fancy picks up the second kill onto Rebirth and is going to make it out, at least stay alive in this smoke. So Fancy with some huge plays, keeping his team alive in this round. Jesus gets the kill onto Robber as well. So this has turned from an advantage into pretty much an even situation. They know where he is in the back stairs position. Blues and Kosjay going to try to take site together. Josie's playing this close angle and going to swing out. Just needs to stay alive and get at least one, and he does not. Blues and Kosjay working very well together. Fancy does have the bomb down, though, and I think he knows it as he was the one to kill the rotator. So 25 seconds left for Blues and his friend to try to get this kill or grab bomb or do something. They do have 2 smokes, so could maybe do it, but they're running out of time. Only 20 seconds left.
Yeah, and Fancy's done so well in this round. Can he step up for his team to do even more? Does manage to attack down one of the players, but rotating back around, he's got a good angle for them to push on site, but it's Blues covering his teammate. Good recovery from Sector 1 after having such a great start, and then Fancy just stopping it completely nearly.
Yeah, Fancy, he could have won that round. You saw him got one of those shots off with the Grand, and really smart play from Blues and Kosj as well to kind of have one up top and one they smoke to the street off, and he either comes through the smoke and Kosj won it on the ground, or he comes through door and Blue wins it. So a valiant effort for Envictus there, and we do see 4 STGs coming out, so maybe he can have some more favorable gunfights from long range, but Robber with that scope is going to be scary, and you got to stop Blues, man. He's just been walking up A, winning every gunfight, getting behind players. You got to do something to stop that from happening.
Yeah, he's just been pushing up mid, just getting into position and getting the frags, but luckily this time it's Envictus who gets the first 2 frags. Fancy taking down Kosj, and it's just every single player for Sector dying, except for Blues, who's just in broken wall.
Yeah, you can walk up the map all you want, but if your teammates aren't getting the kills, then it's not going to be mean all that much. Does take out Sus, so needs to get a little bit more done here and close the gap, as all he has is the SMG, and he is dangerous with it, but 6 bullets left. He's stuck in this T-Con peaks and sees 2 looking at him from afar. Does have the STG, and actually, this guy just loves to re-peek, man. Just going to keep strafing out and try to find some type of headshots, and is at least taking 1v1 gunfights, not going to put himself in too unfavorable position. Strafes out as Niels, no reason to. Now 45 seconds left, and he's starting to do some economy damage. Almost wins the second gunfight as well, but is taken out, and Blues is looking scary today. Yeah,
Blues is definitely looking scary. The fact that he can just push up mid, do a little bit of damage, and then at the end there, using the angles very correctly. You know, you see him peek, but he doesn't peek enough so his opponents can get the frag or get a headshot. So he's staying alive, getting information at a time, and making sure he's in positions where he can get 1v1s. That fight with Samuel G, that could have gone either way.
Right. And that would have been just some more money down the drain. Yeah. Now Envictus kind of finding their bearings here, need to save these guns and keep it going, as they are 1 round away from being on match point. And looks like it's going to be a full B hit coming out from Sector 1. Not the biggest buy. We see mostly carbines and default, so they're just going to try to run onto this site and get bombed down. We'll see if Samuel G can stop them. Or Fancy at least, and they're not winning their gunfights. Dins and Robbers with a kill apiece, and they can get this bomb down for free. Niels has some work cut out for him, and he can't get it. Dins makes it 2 on the round, picks up the STG, sees it, looking to make it 3rd, and does get Samuel G across the map with the STG on a save round. Now Sus is left alone with the car, and he's just going to have to run back and save it. There, a nice flick on the Dins, but it's a little bit too late. They're now going to go up 12-6 unless Sus can, you know, go back on site and take it, but he's getting chased across the map. They're not going to let him save this gun.
Yeah, and why would you? They only have really carbines except for some of the weapons that they picked up. They might as well try and hunt this car, make sure they destroy the economy on Envictus, and that's exactly what they do. Blues takes him out, and what a fast-paced round coming from Sector 1. It's just that change of pace that they brought, because the last few rounds have been quite slow, just getting the frags, getting the map control, and then they just switch it up. They had a low buy, so they just rush B and just won their jewels, and it didn't. Just incredible work to get those 3 kills right off the bat.
Yeah, just more needs to come out from Envictus if they want to hold that site, and they can't really pull it out, and just individual plays coming out for Sector 1 left and right, and Blues sitting on 19 kills. I'm surprised that I think Rebirth's up almost at 20 as well. But yeah, match point here, and we see a full buy coming out. Not the biggest buy for the Axis, as they've already thrown all their grenades. Sus going to walk through the smoke and does get Blues, so shutting down that kind of A presence, but as I say that, Kosj's already on a site. Rebirth's able to frag him as well, so they should be able to plant for free. Robber with a huge kill onto Samuel G, who walks through the smoke. Unfortunate he can't find that kill, and just feels like things are not going their way. Robber just picking up 3 already, looking to maybe make it 4. He does have that scope, and Niels left alone here, fighting for his life in this group stage. And has